Hello and welcome back to Belle's Library. I'm Heather, and today we are going to start another 1 week, 1 shelf challenge. So this is not my original idea. I actually saw it on Emily Fox's channel. Basically, she does a random way of picking out one of the shelves on her wall, and then she has to read books off of that shelf for a week. And this is my way of just trying to get myself back in the groove of reading, and I really have been wanting kind of some physical books and just kind of trying to get grooving with some vlogging and whatnot. So before we jump into my options for this week, go ahead and get down below, click subscribe, and I also have my Instagram and Goodreads and Storygraph down there if you want to follow me on all of those and chat books with me there. So if you missed my first week of doing this, I will have it linked for you guys. I've been kind of struggling with some mental health and getting videos up and just reading in general, but I had a lot of fun doing this last week, and at the end I picked my shelf. So on that shelf I've got a few options that I'm kind of pondering what I want to read. So here they are. These two are my options that I have available right now for audiobooks for me to kind of listen to back and forth to work, and I'm not really sure what I want to do here. I think I'm gonna end up listening to Stardust by Shveta Thakrar. This one is on my self-destruct books, which I think are due like in July or August, so I need to read this one to see if I'm going to keep it. Otherwise it's going to be gone regardless of if I read it or not. And but I'm not really drawn to it, and I haven't been hearing the greatest things about it. But it is a gorgeous book, so I would love to keep it just because it's beautiful. Should I keep my books just because they're beautiful? I don't know. That's a whole conversation. But I think listening to it on audio might be a good way for me to actually get through it as well. So it could be a really good option, and I think it's probably what I'm going to end up doing. But again, being in a little bit more of a slumpy reading mood, I'm worried that it's going to not quite work, and I need things that are going to draw me in. On the other hand, I have been wanting to read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab for quite a while now, and just haven't quite squeezed it in, but I feel like I also kind of want to physically read this one versus listening to the audiobook, so I'm not really sure there. I also read a V.E. Schwab in the last vlog, so I'm like, do I want to keep reading from the same author in every vlog? I don't know. And I also feel like this is kind of like, for some reason, I want to read this in the fall, not the summer, and it just gives me vibes of that. So I probably will read the other one for my audiobook, but we'll see. Physical book-wise, I have these two options. So this one is Half Sick of Shadows by Laura Sebastian, and it's a King Arthur, one of your Morgana retelling thing going on. And then this one was my most recent book of the month, The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah, and this one gives me very much vibes of like City of Brass kind of a thing, and I love that book. So, but this one I would be starting a new series. It's a trilogy. If I want on this one, it's a standalone, and I'm not starting a new series, so I'm kind of like, I'm also kind of drawn, I don't know, I'm drawn to both. I really can't decide which one I want to read physically. I don't know, page count wise, I think this one looks like it might be a little bit longer, but they're both, decently hefty books. My plan, I think, is that I'm going to read the first chapter of each of these and see if one pulls me in more than the other, and then I will kind of get back to you. I did actually start reading a little bit of the first chapter of this one, and, well, okay, so the first chapter in this book is literally just this one page right here. So I am actually reading through the second chapter, which I have a few more pages of, and that's like 10 total pages. So far, I'm intrigued. This woman, she's like on a loom, like using it, and it helps her channel these like visions that she sees of the future. We have this vision of her talking to Morgana while she's making this big potion against Arthur, and like a whole conundrum. She's trying to like make it not be this big old awful scene, and I don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm kind of like, what is happening? And Morgana's like, one of her first friends, and so right now they're in such a really good place. So she's like, how do we end up in this other place, right? So curious. I have not started reading at all into this one, so we'll see. We'll see which one I end up reading in the next clip. Hi, it's Saturday, and I don't really have a lot of your reading updates. I did so good last week, and I'm just kind of not. So far, I've done a little bit. I've decided what I'm reading. I am listening to Stardust, so I'm trying to kind of get into that. But I haven't listened to a ton, but we're basically following this girl who lives with her father, and her dad married a star, and her mother is a star, so she's half star, and she's like at this big family gathering with her dad and their family, and she starts hearing like Star Song, which she hears sometimes, but it's like way more insistent for some reason. And her hair is like silver, and she dyes it black so that nobody like knows, but her roots are like coming in, and she's like, I just colored it like a couple days ago, so something weird is definitely happening. And so that's about as far as I've gotten into the story. I believe she ends up like going to the stars because she has like her dad gets sick or something's going on, and there's some competition up there, and she has to learn a little bit more about that kind of a world ish. But yeah, not totally sure. Right now, the last couple days, well, yesterday I worked all day, but I've just been kind of a little bit more in like a creative, crafty type mood. So I've been doing a little bit of some projects. I'll show you in a minute. And also, what else have I been up to? Oh, went to like a couple like kind of consignment sales that have been going on in the area. Ended up picking up a couple of books. Never been to an Ollie's before, but like brand new books for like $3-4, which is amazing. So I will have to show you what I got soon at some point here. I just got a couple things. And then I picked up a couple like outfits and a bunch of stuff for my daughter that she found, because she's a bargain hunter and she will just find everything in the world, and she's a child, so she's just like, I want this, I want that, let's do it all. But let me show you a little bit of, I guess, what I've been kind of working on instead, so you can check that out, although it's not, you know, reading necessarily. Oh, I also am going to be reading Half Sick of Shadows, but I've only read the first chapter, so that's about all. And I already kind of gave you an idea of what that's all about, so we'll get there when we get there. Hopefully maybe later tonight. Me and my husband are going to have kind of a date night tonight though, and my daughter is staying the night at Grandma and Grandpa's, so we're gonna spend a little time together. So I don't know that reading's gonna happen tonight either, but we'll see. So I've been working on a couple of things. One is this here, and this is like a junk journal. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of one, but basically you use like different items, like reuse items, and I reused this book, and I basically like added in all these pages and made like some little pockets, but I also used some of my daughter's stuff. This is gonna be like my daughter related, so it has like, I'm gonna end up putting like some different pictures and some of her stuff in there, but it's also like this little mermaid theme, and eventually it's gonna look a little bit cuter than it does at the moment, but you can, like, I was pulling out some different pictures, so we'll like, you know, put little cute pictures, and I'll like decorate around them and make them kind of fun, and I can write on like some of this stuff or tuck in little knick-knack things. And I have just like some of her other like artwork from when she was younger in here, like when she used to draw little beings like this. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of just a fun little way to make kind of a scrapbook journal thing. So yeah, kind of been exploring this. I have never done this before, but I've been wanting to for a long time. I was just going through pictures to try and figure out things I wanted to do there. And I also have been doing over here this Wreck This Journal. So this is kind of, oh, what is going on? It's kind of an art journal type thing where there's different prompts on like each page, but this one's all about like kind of ruining it and wrecking it. So I kind of am doing that, but I'm also kind of doing some art as well. So it's not like maybe, I mean, it's open to interpretation. So I did put some page numbers on. It says crack the spine, which I have not been going in order, but I had already cracked the spine. So I just kind of colored it a little bit. Have not done that one. So this one I'm currently kind of in the middle working on. So it says pour, spill, drip, spit, fling your coffee here. So I kind of like poured and put coffee on it and stuff. But I'm gonna like draw something like a coffee mug and like some coffee beans or something like that. Let's see what else. Oh, this one. So it says tear strips, rip it up, and it had like these little lines where you're trying to tear on it. So I actually like put a picture. This one was just black and white, little yin yang, and then this one was color, and then I ripped it. And then this back one says glue, staple, or tape these pages together. So I also like just kind of stapled this around the edge so that those two pieces kind of go together. This page said to take it out and put it through the wash in your pocket. And I did that, and that's where we're at there. So I'm not really sure what I'm doing with that. I'm probably gonna like somehow put it on this page or something. I don't know. This page I gave to my daughter because it says to ask a friend to do something destructive and don't look. So there's that. This one I did actually quite a while ago. It's been a couple years when I actually originally first got this book, and then I wasn't really using it. And I was like, I really want to do this. This was inspired by Where Dreams Descend. Is that the book? I'm pretty sure. If it's not, I will update you guys on the screen like here-ish. But I'm pretty sure that that's the book. There was like a quote about potential, I think, and it was, you know, describing these flowers and stuff. So that scene just made me think of that image. What else do we have? Oh, this one says chew on this. So warning, do not swallow. I did not want to chew on the page, so I just drew some chewing gum. Yep. So some of it, like I said, I'm not doing that. This one I don't really enjoy the page. I feel like it needs something more. But it says we are better together. You're supposed to figure out a way to attach it. I put like a zipper kind of, and then these are actually magnets. So I was like, it's not really connected, so maybe I'll magnet it. I don't know. I don't know how much you guys really want to see all this, but there's a page where it said to just write about something boring, I think it was. So I wrote about this other day at work where there just wasn't a whole lot going on. So I did that. What else is in here? I think that's most of them, but I feel like there was something else. Oh, this page. Pressed leaves and other found things. So I actually used some like ink pads, and like my daughter and I just went out and got a bunch of little leaves and plants, and then I used the ink to kind of make little imprints of it. Oh, and then we did, this page is for handprints or fingerprints. Get them dirty, then press them down. So this is my hand, my daughter, and my husband are here, and then that's one of our cats and one of our dogs. So got some fun little prints going. So anyways, just kind of, you know, that's part of what I've been working on. I did quite a bit of this the other day, and then I'm kind of working on, I don't know, a little bit of this at the moment. My desk is like a disaster. I probably should clean it up. But so that's kind of what's going on. A little bit of some chaos going on over here, but not a ton of reading. So hopefully that'll happen in the later half of this week. So I have a little bit of reading updates for you guys. Hi. So this reading vlog is not really much of a reading vlog so far, but today goals are to read something. It's Sunday and it's gonna happen. But before I kind of get into that, I figured I would show you some of the stuff I picked up at the consignment sale yesterday. Figured I would try a few things on for you, and we'll see if they fit, because I didn't try anything on. It was all like $1.50 to $3 a piece, and I just was like, well, we'll try it out. And there's a couple things I was like, I'm not really sure this is gonna work, but they're cute, so I want to try. First being this shirt, which is not working. So super adorably cute, I feel like. Ignore the bra straps. So if those weren't there, I'm like, oh yeah, this is very adorable. But I lift up my hands and then the whole thing just like scrunches and gets all weird, and just like, it's not as cute and it's not very comfortable, and unfortunately it's just kind of a flop on that. Okay, well here's the next little top that I got. It's a long sleeve, so obviously I will not be wearing it for a little while, but it's a gorgeous color for fall. Like, I adore this color, it's beautiful. I feel like it fits pretty well, it's pretty cute. I don't know, what do you guys think? Enjoying it, and at least it's fitting. All right, so next I've got a scrub top. got a few little pockets. It's actually a little more snug than I was expecting it to be around the top, but I mean, I have some like navy blue scrub pants that I figured I could put with it, and it would be kind of cute and work okay. It's just, is it going to be comfortable enough to move around it at work? I don't know. I might try it out for a day and we'll see how it goes when I'm at work. But yeah, it's pretty cute. I think it'll work really well with some navy scrub pants. It should be great. All right, this one was my favorite, and I really was wanting it to fit, and I just don't think it's going to. It's a little too snug, and I bend, and these are just gonna like pop open, and the buttons are just gonna be a pain, but it has little pockets, and it's super cute, and I just wish that it would fit a little better. I might play around with maybe putting a shirt on underneath and just having some of these buttons unbuttoned maybe, but this is where it's at right now, and so not like half and half, 2 wins, 2 not so wins. So I mean, for a couple bucks, no big deal. I can give this to someone that will use it and enjoy it, and no worries there. So just wanted to show you guys what I got. I almost forgot. I also wanted to show you guys the couple of books that I picked up as well. So I ended up, I'm really hoping in that last video you couldn't hear the fan going the entire time. I totally forgot to turn it off. Anyways, I picked up Ready Player One. I have actually read this one and I really enjoyed it. And I feel like it'd be a really fun one to reread with all the fun like 80s references going on. Basically, this is like a world where everybody kind of almost lives in a video game world because of just the way that the world has kind of turned, and the real world is just kind of falling apart a little bit. But in this game, the creator of this reality game where you just kind of plug yourself into it, he put in this Easter egg before he died. And he said anyone who finds this Easter egg basically gets to have his company and all his money and everything. And it's been years and nobody's found it. And then all of a sudden a new kind of clue has come to light. And you're kind of following the adventure while all these people are trying to get it. And it gets a little deadly and crazy. And but it's just chock full of really fun old references from the 80s, and it was just a really good, cute book. So I picked it up. It was only like a couple bucks. And then I also grabbed this one at Ollie's. So the other one I found at Goodwill for a couple bucks. This one was $3.99 and it is brand new. And I'm just like, what? This is amazing. So this is The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. My general knowledge of this is that we're following a bunch of people out on this ship. They're like, I think, transporting a passenger who is going to be standing trial for murder. But there's also, I think, like a murder mystery thing going on the ship, or they're looking into his case. I don't know. There's some kind of murder mystery aspect to it, but also like some weird haunted type things start happening on the ship while they're out at sea. And I'm there for all of that. So excited to read this at some point. I really want to read his other book too. So hopefully that'll be happening soon. I actually have a really fun video project idea that this would fit into, that hopefully I will kind of get going with. Just trying to, you know, get myself back in the groove a little bit before I start bigger projects again, because I'm kind of in the middle of one that I've been in the middle of for quite a while that had to kind of go on pause. But yeah, that's a totally different story. Anyways, I'm going to be back with reading updates next time for Half Sick of Shadows. It's happening. It's Monday. Today I got up, I got moving, but before we kind of talk about some of that stuff, I did some reading yesterday. Aren't you proud of me? I read 100 pages so far in this book. So I'm on page 106. We are getting there. So I'm about a quarter of the way in. It's a little over 400-page book. And I've got a little more to kind of tell you about what this is about. So we are following from Elaine's perspective. And when she was 13, she started learning a little bit more about the fact that she is an oracle and she can see the future, and her mom like really wants her to suppress this and take this potion every night so that she, because magic is outlawed in Camelot where she lives, and she lives at court and like is a part of that kind of world, and it can be very dangerous for her to have these magical abilities. And so she meets Morgana. She doesn't really have any friends. She feels like an outsider. Morgana is part fae. She's just visiting, and she ends up going with her back to Avalon, where the fae kind of live, and then she can learn a little bit more about her oracle powers and how to control them and what to do with them and that kind of thing. So we're kind of getting some flashbacks to when she was 13 and, you know, right before she leaves and as she's leaving, and just kind of some stuff going on there. And when she first gets to Avalon and she meets Arthur and Gwen and Lancelot, and the 5 of them kind of become friends and kind of a group there. And then we're also in present day, 10 years later, when King Uther is dead, and now King Arthur, well, Arthur is now King Arthur, so he needs to go back, and he left Camelot when he was 2 years old. I think it was part of like ending the Fae War with them, and so he went and lived in Avalon. So he hasn't really been in Camelot. Everybody's not even sure that he's actually alive and a person. And so now he has to kind of go back and claim his throne and become king of Camelot and, you know, that surrounding area. So he goes back with the whole crew, and they're all coming back. But when he gets back, his like illegitimate stepbrother is like about to get crowned king, and they have to like stop the whole thing. And so right now, Merlin put them to 3 tests to prove that it is actually King Arthur and find the rightful king here. So first one was just proving his bloodline, which was already done. And now we are kind of waiting for him to go out to Lyonesse, where Gwen is from, and he has to basically get them to kind of join with Camelot because they're the last ones that they don't really have an alliance with. And then there's another test we haven't learned about. So we're kind of, you know, trying at this point to get in with the people as well and win them over and just get him to be King Arthur. And so we're learning a little bit more about all of these different people. But I find it very interesting following from Elaine because we also get some of her, she talks about some of her premonitions and stuff like that, and how some of them like that change a lot are kind of more dependent on different avenues that people take. And then there's other ones that like don't really change as much and they're pretty like set. People have made their decisions. This is where it's going to go. But we're getting like these glimpses into what is going to happen essentially in the future. And you're like, but are we really going to go there? Is all of this really going to happen that way? Like there's just like this, you know, you've got little holes and spots where it's just, I don't know. It makes you very curious as to where this is kind of going to go. I really feel like the author could do a really good job of kind of weaving in some of this stuff, and you're just getting like bits of information, but not enough to really put everything together of what is going to happen with these people. I also really feel like each of the characters is kind of different and unique, and I'm appreciating the diversity, I guess, that you can really tell the difference. I appreciate when people actually have personalities and you can tell the difference between each of them, and they kind of bring their own thing to the story. So that's been really good. I don't think I'm like super like into the story yet. Like there's, you know, it's got me thinking. I'm enjoying it for the most part, but I'm not like enthralled in it yet. I'm still easily distracted by other things, but I'm reading through it decently quick, and I think it'll start really moving and picking up soon as I'm getting into the story a little bit more and into the writing style. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it so far. It's going really well. I also did not realize that this is the author of like the Ash Princess trilogy. I haven't read that, but I didn't make that connection either. So apparently she did write those, and I know those were pretty popular there for a minute. People were enjoying them. I don't know that there were anything that I was like super interested in picking up, but this one is. I really enjoyed Legendborn, which is also kind of King Arthur-y, but in present day. And so I was intrigued to pick up something else that's kind of got that King Arthur legend to it. And this one's definitely much more like in King Arthur time, King Arthur legend type stuff. But yeah, it's going really well. So there's my reading update for you guys. I've got a little puppy over here. She's hanging out with me. See? Hi, little Miss Mel. So otherwise this morning, got up early. I like took a cool panoramic picture I'll show you of my backyard. So in the last vlog I talked to you guys about kind of clearing out the patio. So today I went and like tried to pick up all 100 million bajillion sticks that I could so that my husband could mow behind me so we could get like all of these weeds just taken down. So we mowed our backyard and it's looking good. So that was like the first item off of the list today. I also have to go to the eye doctor because I'm almost out of contacts, so that's happening this afternoon. So I'm thinking when I go, I'll probably get a little bit of reading time like while I'm waiting and whatnot, so I'll bring my book with me. But yeah, that's the main plans for the day, so I should definitely be able to get some reading going, and I don't know what else I'm going to do with my day. Stuff, we'll see. I mean, it's only 10:45, so I think I've gotten through pretty much everything that I really wanted to get done today, except for the eye doctor, which isn't until 3. And so I'm kind of like, well, all right. I'm probably gonna hang out with my daughter a little bit, probably read a little bit, and we'll see what else comes up that I decide that I want to kind of work on. Feels good. Good morning, you guys. I'm not sure I'm gonna pull this all the way out, but I'm a little farther. I think I'm like 170-ish pages in. 170 pages in. Can't speak right now. I'm tired. It's almost 6 o'clock. I have to leave for work at 6, and I just figured I'd say hey for a few minutes. Definitely enjoying this one quite a bit. I'm intrigued. Like, I feel like we just keep getting, it's very interesting being in an oracle's mind and you're getting all these different glimpses of the future, but you can't really tell people about it. But like, it kind of colors how you feel about certain people. But in the moment, like, you still have other feelings for them, but you know, like, where things are going to go. So I don't know. It's just, it's interesting. I'm wearing my new shirt to work today. See how it works out. It's feeling pretty good. And yeah, I mean, that's all I got. I didn't really get to read much of the eye doc, but I read when I got home. And I'm tired this morning, so hopefully this coffee starts kicking in soon. So it's Wednesday, time to try and wrap up this vlog, but I'm gonna try and like extend it just a smidge so I can actually finish a book. So yesterday I was so tired when I got off of work. I just did not read. I ate, got ready for bed, and just went and laid down, and I watched an episode of the new Charmed TV show and just fell asleep. So that's how my night went yesterday. So not a lot of reading really happened yesterday, but I have been reading so far this morning, and my goal is to try and finish this today. So Half Sick of Shadows, let's see where I'm at. I am on page 240. You cannot see that very well. And I am really enjoying this quite a chunk. And I really just want to just kind of be lazy today and just read and enjoy it. I did take a little break here. I made some lunch and like played with my daughter for a smidge, but I'm going to snuggle up and read some more of this very shortly. I also have this little like headache that's just trying to stay around. It's like one of those ones where it just like, it'll like disappear a little bit and you're like, oh, it's going away, it's gone. And then all of a sudden it'll be like, haha, I'm back. And it just kind of just keeps going in and out like that. So we're gonna have one of those days where I'm just gonna be battling it all day. But I mean, that makes it even better to just be laying down, relaxing, reading. So hoping to finish this up, but I mean, that's what, like 180 pages I need to read still. So it's gonna take me a good chunk of today to finish this, but I'm really enjoying it. I am loving that we are following Elaine's perspective. I think that was super smart of the author and just made it something a little bit different and more unique. And I just am loving all the King Arthur vibes and them trying to get him on the throne and just, I don't know. I'm just super curious as to what the future is going to hold, because that's all we're just in her mind, and just seeing all these different, we're not in her mind, but we do see like some of her different future options of where this is going to go. And you're just like, it can't go that way. Don't go that way. You know? Yeah, it's just very intriguing and I'm really, really enjoying it. So Now it's going well. I am not going to end up finishing up Stardust though before today. Like, it's just not happening. I have been trying to listen to this one, but it keeps cutting out in my car because I don't get great reception for part of my drive to and from work. And so I figured out yesterday, I was like, okay, there's got to be a better way to do this. So I figured out that I can download it, so then it'll play a little smoother. So that's going to help. But I don't know why, it's just not really looking right. But I'm just a little bit in. I'm on like chapter 6. Let's see, how many pages? 77. I'm a little into chapter 6 at the moment, so I'm a little bit farther than that. But so not a lot more has happened, but her dad is in the hospital. He's sick. She's kind of trying to explore a little bit more about what it means for her to be part star. And I have a feeling we're going to kind of get a little more into that world here pretty soon. But yeah, I'm going to keep listening to it probably into next week and try and finish it up because it is, again, on my self-destruct book. So it's something I need to kind of get into and see if it's a book that, you know, I want to keep reading. If I finish it, do I want to keep it? You know, just that kind of thing. So we'll see where that one goes, but I'm definitely going to try and finish this one up. And I will try and also pick my shelf here in a little bit for next week. And I'm really hoping, I really am hoping not to be doing more fantasy. As much as I'm really enjoying this one, I want something, I'm really kind of wanting mystery thrillers or something like that. Because I need something a little faster, or like a romancy, like something that can be a little bit quicker to read and just kind of get into. It's kind of what I'm craving at the moment. But we'll see where it goes. I also did my Bookland, so I've got a few things I kind of need to fill in there, and some of that sci-fi. So that's kind of, you know, wrapped in this little area, but we'll kind of see where it takes us. All right, well, I figured actually before I jump back into my book that maybe we can just really quickly do my random number generator and figure out my book for, you know, next time around here. The words, they're gonna come. I'm just trying to do 2 things at once. So let me pull up the random number generator here, and I'm gonna do 1 through 6 because we've technically done the bottom 2 shelves, so we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're not doubling up shelves. So so we're looking right here. And I've got 1 through 6, and it's generating, is that a 2? So, shelf number 2, I think is my mystery thriller shelf. Let's take a peek. Okay, so that's shelf 1. So shelf 2 is my mystery thriller shelf here. So I'm really excited for that. I am dying to read this, but I'm not going to for this vlog because I have a different idea for it. But I talked about what my options were if I got this shelf in my July TBR with Belle's Bookland, and I think it's going to be one of these 2. I have the one by John Mars, or All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda. So those, I think, are going to be the options of what I'm thinking I'm probably going to read. Oh, I would love to reread Sadie, too. That would be really good. I've got a lot of these I've read, like the Riley Sager ones I've read. I read No Exit. I've read my Simone St. James over here. I've read Lucy Foley's books. This one's new from Book of the Month, and I have not read that one. And that one would be good, but that one's more horror, and I need a mystery thriller for my Belle's Bookland. So it's most likely going to be either All the Missing Girls or the one, or maybe both, because they're mystery thrillers, so maybe like I can really just fly through them. Well, I just finished this, and I'm feeling kind of shell-shocked. My heart's still kind of racing. I'm like on the verge of tears. Like, I'm not really sure how to even feel about any of this right now. I don't even know, you guys, like, what just happened? This was good. And I'm like shell-shocked, heartbroken. I don't know what to make of how this book ended. I don't know how to feel about it, but I'm having a lot of feelings about it. So I just can't really name them. They're just like all just right here in my chest. Just oh my goodness. Wow, that was good. Yeah. That was really good. I have spent my entire day reading. It's 6 o'clock now, and yeah, I wish I had more coherent thoughts for you guys right now, because yeah, they're not very coherent at the moment. But oh my goodness, yeah, that ending was not something I was really expecting. I don't know. I will say that I really enjoyed kind of the way that she painted all of her characters in their own personalities and their own lights, and kind of talked about, you know, choosing your own path instead of just listening to everyone around you. And she definitely, you know, made the women, as much as the King Arthur plotline is not necessarily nice to women and the role that they usually would play in that time period, you know, she gave them a lot more credit and ability in this story, and I really appreciated that. Yeah, I don't know. It just, yeah, that ending kind of threw me, and I'm still a little just worked up by it. It was more emotional, I guess, than I was expecting it to be. I don't know. I guess I was expecting it to somehow come around. Like, we have this doom and gloom that we're expecting kind of through her visions through the whole thing. But you still expect it to kind of turn around and go in a different direction, and it just didn't. So, yeah. Anyways, I guess this is where we're ending this vlog. I finished one book for this one, and I'll keep working on my other one. And then next week we'll be starting into some mystery thrillers. So excited for that. But I hope you guys are having a great reading week. And let me know what you guys have been up to. If you made it all the way to the end here, give me some kind of like maybe swords or something. Something to deal with knights and the round table, or, you know, something creative like that. I will talk to you guys later. Happy reading. Bye.